All right, hey team. This is Michael Fitzpatrick, and I am just going to give you a brief tutorial here. I've been having a bunch of conversations with a lot of associates, and one of the things that we talked about, and that I was showing some people, was this this tool and the system. It really actually relates to step 3 and step 4, very specifically in the duplicate system, which is the kind of who do you know. You're making your list and contact and inviting. So after I shared this with a few people, they asked me if I would put together a brief tutorial this way, so that basically they can see it and watch it over and over again. But I'm going to show you about basically the following 4 things. Really, not only creating your list, because that part's pretty obvious, but we have some tools and some systems that are in place to really help you be more efficient or to manage your time as effectively as possible. And I think you're going to really, really enjoy this system that I'm going to share with you. Also, phone calling and call tracking, and then what is really the last piece. So it really starts here, guys. Basically, the yellow part here are your goals, and that would be really your reasons for doing this business. Whatever those reasons are, whether it's to pay down debt, maybe you don't like your job as much as you once did, or maybe you just never liked your job and you just never feel fulfilled or passionate, or maybe you want to pay off your mortgage, or maybe you have expenses for aging parents or college costs, or I don't know, man. Whatever your reasons for doing this business are, I'm sure they're near and dear to you. I know that they are for me. So this blue circle here, this big blue circle, represents you. And you have your eyes affixed on the prize, right? That's really your goal. And then down below are a bunch of little circles. And those are people that you know, or people that you know and who they know, or people that you're going to meet. And ultimately the goal is to really kind of form something like this. All right, so on the left-hand side, that circle and all the circles within the circle represents your Viridian business. And the game that we're playing here for the most part, or I should say the purpose and the ultimate goal, is to really help enroll as many people into your vision and into Viridian's vision, and more importantly, into their own vision as possible. So remember, they're going to all have their specific reasons for doing this, but basically this circle over on the left-hand side represents your business. It could be comprised of platinum partners, or executive directors, or diamond ambassadors, or directors, or EAs. So you really want people in your circle to even outshine you, to really just be your biggest circle. Now, Viridian, right there in the middle, happens to just be a vehicle to help you take all those ambitions and drives and goals to do good in the world over on the right-hand side. And our small contribution that we're making collectively is actually a really big contribution, not only in helping people achieve their financial goals in life, but also in the environmental issues that we're helping to contribute towards, and the carbon emissions offset and so on. So we're building a team of people with like mind, and we're using Viridian as a vehicle to help us really impact the world in a positive place and to impact our own lives. So we've all heard the phrase create your list. Okay, well, one of the things here that we have is a spreadsheet, and you'll notice here we have the first name, the last name, the company name, email, phone number, address, and so on. You may not know all this data for every person that you know. That's okay, but I'll share with you in a minute why this information is so important, and why taking the time to put it together is so important as well. Because really, this is what happens. This is what I was getting from a lot of associates. Some people would actually put together a spreadsheet, but then they really had a difficult time following up with people from their spreadsheet. Now, if you have a strong enough desire, you'll call on the back of napkins, you'll write numbers on your hand. I mean, you'll go crazy and call anybody for anything, anywhere, anytime. But to do this efficiently and to do it effectively does require some level of organization. And there's an old saying that goes, measure twice and cut once. And Abraham Lincoln said if he had 6 hours to chop down trees, he'd spend the first 4 sharpening his saw. And that's powerful, powerful stuff. And I think a lot of people don't spend enough time, organizing their business and working on their business, because they're constantly working in their business. So this spreadsheet is hard to make follow-up phone calls off of, because you don't know who said that they weren't interested last time, or who said they had a third-party provider, or who had the wrong phone number. And maybe if you made some notes along the sides, it says call back, and you call back, and then you write the date when you called back, and then all of a sudden you run out of room. And so you have to either go back and enter data into a spreadsheet and so on and so forth. Well, what if each person on your list had a sheet that kind of looked like this? It had their name, it had their company name, which is not on this one, but I'll show you where it will be, their phone number, their email, and basically you were able to just handwrite, what happened last time you talked to them. Because you may have to follow up with people 2, 3, 4, 5, 8, 10, 12, 15 times, and you want to know what happened in the last conversation. So from there, I call this kind of like the squeezing toothpaste through the tube. So when you first get your list together, it's like toothpaste in a tube. And the goal is to ultimately squeeze all the toothpaste out of the tube from the bottom to the top. And what that means is that you really want to figure out, where do all 100 of these people sit right now? So I encourage people to get 11 manila folders and write on them your pipeline, right? So it goes from yet to contact, call back, still following up to book appointment, booked appointment needs to reschedule, met with still deciding, met with not interested, met with became a customer, met with became an associate, met with told you to go to heck. Just kidding. Maybe they have phone issues. Maybe the number you have for them is not the right phone number. Maybe they already have a third-party provider and they want you to touch base, at some point down the road. Maybe they're not interested and they said no meeting, whatsoever. And you might be able to ask them, do you mind if I check back in 3 months or whatever? So anyway, you're like a blackjack dealer at the table, and you want to basically be putting the lists, the names, the individual sheets of paper into their respective folders so that you can have some level of organization. And before I give you the example of how to do this, and I'll show you a spreadsheet merging with an actual Word document to give you a live sample, I want to just quote my old friend Jim Rohn, who says that there are 2 types of pain that you will go through in life: the pain of discipline and the pain of regret. Discipline weighs ounces, while regret weighs tons. So guys, while this opportunity is here, and right now it's 2013, this opportunity will not be here forever. And if you really want to take advantage of this, you got to step up your game and treat this like a business. So I'm going to show you kind of how this works, or how I work it, and hopefully this makes some sense for you. So it starts with your spreadsheet, and I'm going to give you an example here of Sample Smith. Sample Smith. And Sample Smith works at Company X, LLC. And he happens to be the sales leader. And Sample Smith at AOL.com. Phone number is 123-456-7890. Okay, and this person is on 10 DeHart Street in Morristown, New Jersey. Oops. Okay, so guys, that takes about anywhere from 15 to 30 seconds, or 30 seconds to a minute, depending on your typing. It's okay. But if you typed in 100 names here, oh, my friend Jack, Jack Jones, my friend, Sally Greger, my friend, Mitch Google. And then you can go back in there and put their contact information. But here's the deal. Okay, the more data that you have, the better. And here's why. Like I said before, it's really hard to call off of a spreadsheet. So what we're going to do here is I'm going to put in a sample. Okay, so Mitch Google, we only had his phone number. No address, no this, no that, no email address, okay, whatever. So I saved that, and what we created is a one-page document. So in here, we have the person's, we have a blank spot for their name, blank spot for their company name, blank spot for their title, blank spot for their phone number. I think we only have phone number here, so we'll do that. Blank spot for their email address and blank spot for their address. And then down below, we have spots for notes. Okay, so and we'll make this a one-pager, so we'll get rid of this. Oops. Okay, so now we have a one-page document, and we want to have 100 sheets of paper. We don't want to have 100 names on a spreadsheet. That's where it starts. But basically, here's what you do, and here's the simplicity of it. Okay, you basically go to Mailings up here, and you may have a different version of Microsoft. It's okay. And I think my screen's a little bit higher. You can't really see actually above where I am. But you go to Mailings, then you go to Start Mail Merge. Then you go to Step-by-Step Mail Merge Wizard. Now over here it's going to say, what type of document are you working on? Well, I'm actually working on a letter. Okay, great. If you're working on labels, it'd be labels. But I'm working on a letter. I say, great, step 1 of 6, next step. How do you want to set up your letters? I say, well, I actually want to use the existing document that I have here. So I'm going to use that one. Okay, great. They say, select your recipients now. Who do you want to merge this with? I say, oh, okay. I want to merge it with that spreadsheet I was just talking about. So I saved that spreadsheet on my desktop. So I go on my desktop. And guys, if this is too much for you, give me a call and I'll help you walk through this. It's not a problem. It's really easy. So I go, I want to merge it with this sheet here. Okay, great. Okay, so here's all my people that show up on that spreadsheet. Perfect. That's the one. And now they're saying, write your letter. I say, okay. So I go to more items. So right in here now, I want to put my cursor to say I want to start merging the information in. So these are now all the columns that were in the spreadsheet. I can now start to just place this data in here, and you'll see how it works. So I go to first name, double-click, last name, double-click, hit close. I go back in here and hit space. Okay, great. Then I go to company. Great. I want to put in the company name there. Boom. Then title. Okay. I want to go into title and put their title. Perfect. Easy. Then I go to phone number. Okay. From the spreadsheet, there was a column there that said phone number. And if you want to have a column that says cell phone number, home phone, work phone, whatever, you can do that too. Now down here, I want to put their email address. Okay. Perfect. Email. Double click. Boom. Then I go to their address. Last one. So I go into here, address, street, suite, city, state, zip. Okay. So now I want to just do this, do a space, and I want to do this, and hit enter. Oops, don't want to do that. Okay. So do space there. I do this, enter. Tab. Okay, so I have city, space, state, space, zip, and so on. So if you want to get really detailed, you can go over here and make these not bold. You can do whatever you want to. But the point is, you can see now, all we did was create the merge information in here. So now it's going to link up the spreadsheet to this document. And if I go to preview my letters now, boom, whatever I put in that spreadsheet, now it just merges right over into this sheet here. And that's recipient number 1. Remember recipient number 2 was the Michael Fitzpatrick person? Great. And then we did Sample Smith together, Company X, LLC, the sales leader, and we did their address and all that stuff. It's all right there for you. Then we did Jack Jones. Now, because we didn't put anything else in there for him, nothing else shows up in his fields. Sally Greger, same thing. And with Mitch, we did the same thing. So basically, we have whatever data we put in the spreadsheet, it shows up right here. And then you guys go back to this piece here where you put these in their respective folders, and then voila, you're on your way, right? So you took a list from 100 names on a spreadsheet or more or whatever, and you put them into a very usable document. If you need help with this, please, let me know. If you want a copy of the spreadsheet, let me know. If you want a copy of these pipeline items, let me know. I'll email them to you. So just shoot me an email. You know my email address, michael.fitzpatrick@ltcfp.net. That's like Larry, Thomas, Charlie, Frank, Paul, or long-term care financial partners.net. So guys, hopefully that was helpful for you. And that's all I got for now. And I think I'm going to figure out how to